Life often feels unstable. One moment everything's fine, the next chaos hits and we're searching for something solid. In these moments, a deep longing for unshakable faith rises within us. A need for peace that endures, even when the world is unpredictable. This yearning isn't weakness. It's a universal human experience. We look at others who seem calm and wonder if steadfast faith is a secret gift. But it's a path open to all. Sometimes our inner world feels like a boat tossed by waves, craving a safe harbor from daily anxieties. The good news? Transformation is possible, not through grand gestures, but by taking small, steady steps. This journey is about discovering the quiet strength already within you, waiting to be awakened. Let me introduce Mark. He's the kind of person you'd see and immediately think, he's got it all figured out. Successful career, beautiful family, always impeccably dressed. He seems to glide through life with an effortless grace that many envy. A man admired for his success, his family, his calm demeanor. Awards line his shelves, testaments to his professional achievements. His family beams in every photo, a picture of domestic bliss. He's the guy everyone wants to be, or at least the guy they think they want to be. Outwardly, his life looked perfect. A carefully constructed image of success and happiness. The kind of life that inspires magazine covers and envy-filled glances. Everything seems to be in its right place, a testament to hard work and dedication. But inside, he battled doubts and spiritual dryness. A constant undercurrent of unease gnawed at him, a feeling that something was missing despite all his accomplishments. The weight of expectations, both his own and those of others, pressed down on him. He went through the motions, a well-rehearsed performance of a life well-lived. Wake up, work, family time, sleep, repeat. Each day blurring into the next, a monotonous cycle that offered little in the way of genuine fulfillment. But faith felt distant, his prayers empty, like hollow words echoing in a vast, silent chamber. He longed for the connection he once felt, the sense of purpose and belonging that had faded over time, and his spirit parched like a desert landscape starved of rain. The vibrant oasis of his faith had withered, leaving behind only cracked earth and a desperate thirst. Mark's confident smile masked a quiet ache, a deep-seated sadness that he couldn't quite explain. It was the ache of a soul searching for meaning, a heart yearning for something more than the superficial trappings of success, a longing for something deeper than achievements and routines. He looked at his trophies, his accolades, and felt a profound emptiness. They were symbols of success, yes, but they didn't fill the void within him. He remembered a time when faith was simple, a childlike trust in a loving God. A time when prayers were answered with a sense of wonder and connection. A time before the complexities of life had clouded his understanding, but now it felt unreachable, like a forgotten language, a distant memory fading with each passing day. The words of scripture seemed hollow, the rituals meaningless. He struggled to recapture the spark of his former faith. His efforts to connect spiritually left him feeling more isolated, as if he were the only one struggling with these doubts. He attended services, read spiritual books, but the connection remained elusive, as if faith was for others, not him. He watched others pray with fervor, their faces radiant with belief, and wondered what he was doing wrong. Why couldn't he experience that same sense of peace and connection? He wondered if he was simply not wired for faith. If some people were just naturally more inclined to spiritual experiences than others. Was he somehow defective, incapable of truly believing? Burdened by a sense of inadequacy, a feeling that he was somehow failing at the most fundamental aspect of life. He carried this weight in silence, afraid to reveal his doubts to others for fear of judgment. The disconnect grew, and he questioned if vibrant faith was only for saints or mystics, those exceptional individuals who seemed to possess an innate connection to the divine. Was it an unattainable ideal for ordinary people like him? Mark's story is a reminder, even those who seem to have it all together can feel lost inside. The carefully constructed facades we present to the world often hide a multitude of struggles and insecurities. The ache for authenticity and connection is real, a fundamental human need that transcends social status and material possessions. We all crave genuine relationships and a sense of belonging, and it's more common than we think. Many people are silently struggling with similar feelings of doubt, isolation, and spiritual dryness. We are not alone in our struggles, even when it feels that way. But even in spiritual drought, hope can break through. Even in the darkest of times, there is always the possibility of renewal, of rediscovering faith, and finding meaning in life. Mark tried everything, books, sermons, ambitious morning routines, hoping to spark a deeper faith. He set lofty goals, an hour of study and prayer each day, new journals, spiritual apps, but life intervened, work, family, exhaustion, and his plans quickly unraveled. Each failed attempt left him feeling guilty and inadequate, as if he was letting himself and God down. The cycle of high hopes and disappointment made him hesitant to try again. He began to believe deep faith was out of reach for ordinary, busy people like him. This belief kept him stuck, yearning for more but afraid to hope. Nearing despair, Mark was ready to give up on vibrant faith. The weight of expectations, the constant striving, had become unbearable. He felt adrift, the guiding lights of his beliefs dimming with each passing day. The joy he once found in his spiritual practices had been replaced by a sense of obligation, a heavy burden he could barely carry. It felt like too much effort for too little peace. Every prayer felt like a monumental task, every act of service an exhausting ordeal. The spiritual mountain he was trying to climb seemed impossibly steep, the summit forever out of reach. He longed for respite, for a moment of genuine connection, but the harder he tried, the more elusive it became. Then, amidst the darkness, he stumbled on a simple idea, a tiny spark of possibility. It wasn't a grand revelation or a profound insight, but a small, almost insignificant thought that flickered in his mind. Tiny habits, small daily actions, woven into the fabric of his life, almost imperceptible in their individual impact. Not grand spiritual marathons, not monumental feats of devotion, but small, manageable steps. He realized he didn't need to conquer the mountain in a single bound. What if, instead of overhauling everything, trying to fix all his perceived flaws at once, he just committed to 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes of prayer, 10 minutes of reflection, 10 minutes of simply being present? The idea felt almost laughable, ridiculously simple in its approach. Could something so small really make a difference? But also doable, undeniably achievable. It was a commitment he could realistically keep, a promise he could make to himself without fear of failure. A crack of light in his darkness, a glimmer of hope in the overwhelming gloom. He decided to try, to embrace the simplicity and see where it led. 10 minutes, no pressure for miracles, no expectation of instant transformation. Just a manageable start, a gentle entry point into a renewed connection with his faith. Skeptical but hopeful, he stood at the threshold of this new approach. He resolved to show up for those 10 minutes, to honor his commitment to himself, regardless of how he felt. He knew it wouldn't change everything overnight, that the darkness wouldn't vanish in an instant. But it could be a real beginning, a solid foundation upon which to rebuild his connection to faith. Sometimes, the smallest step is the most important, the one that sets you on a new path. Mark's journey shifted, subtly but significantly. Not with a leap, not with a sudden, dramatic transformation, but with a gentle, consistent turn, a gradual shift in direction that promised a brighter horizon. 10 minutes became his new experiment in faith, a testing ground for the power of small beginnings. Sometimes, hope is found in the simplest changes, in the quiet moments of commitment, in the unwavering belief that even the smallest spark can ignite a flame. Mark realized he needed a change, a way to cultivate inner peace amidst the daily chaos. He sought a method that was both effective and sustainable, something that wouldn't add to his already overflowing plate. After much contemplation and research, Mark's new approach was simple and practical, perfect for real life. It wasn't about escaping reality, but about finding moments of serenity within it. He understood that true transformation comes from integrating spiritual practices into the fabric of everyday existence, making it a seamless part of his daily rhythm. He broke his 10 minutes into 4 focused steps, a concise yet powerful structure designed to address different facets of his inner well-being. Each step was carefully chosen to build upon the previous one, creating a holistic experience that nourished his mind, body, and spirit. No rituals or complex prep required. It was designed to be accessible and unintimidating, removing any potential barriers to entry. He wanted something he could easily commit to, regardless of his circumstances or location. Step 1. 2 minutes of calm stillness. A brief pause from the external world to connect with the internal one. Just sitting quietly, focusing on his breath, allowing himself to be fully present in the moment. He wasn't trying to empty his mind, but rather to observe his thoughts and emotions without judgment, letting the noise settle. Like sediment in a glass of water, the mental chatter gradually subsided, revealing a sense of clarity and peace beneath. Step 2. 3 minutes of honest prayer, a time for heartfelt communication and spiritual connection. Talking to God simply, as one would confide in a trusted friend, sharing worries, hopes, and gratitude. It was an opportunity to release burdens, express desires, and acknowledge the blessings in his life. Step 3. 3 minutes with Scripture. A moment to glean wisdom and inspiration from sacred texts. Reading a short passage, absorbing a small piece of wisdom. He focused on understanding the message and applying it to his own life, allowing the words to resonate within him. Step 4. 2 minutes of faith declarations and gratitude. A powerful way to cultivate a positive mindset and appreciate the good in his life. Affirming truths and naming 3 things he was thankful for. This practice shifted his focus from what was lacking to what he already possessed, fostering a sense of contentment and abundance. The routine was brief, clear, and achievable. It was designed to be easily integrated into his daily life without feeling like a burden or obligation. No pressure for perfection. He understood that consistency was more important than flawless execution, just showing up, being present, and connecting authentically. It was about the intention and the effort, not the outcome. This 10-minute sanctuary became a daily anchor, a grounding force that helped him navigate the ups and downs of life with greater resilience and grace. Mark found that small, consistent effort mattered more than grand intentions. It was the daily practice, the steady commitment, that yielded the most profound results over time. The beauty was in the simplicity and the willingness to begin, to take that first step towards inner peace and well-being. Anyone could do this, no special qualifications required. It was a practice accessible to all, regardless of background, belief system, or level of experience. Sometimes the smallest routines create the strongest foundations, providing a solid base upon which to build a life of purpose, meaning, and unwavering faith. In the first days, Mark didn't experience dramatic revelations, but he felt lighter. Completing his 10 minutes brought a quiet sense of accomplishment and peace. Gradually he noticed subtle changes, less stress, more patience, a growing sense of calm. The routine became a daily anchor grounding him amid life's chaos. Faith declarations, once awkward, began to shape his mindset. He started noticing small moments of grace. God winks throughout his day. Mark's spiritual senses were awakening and faith was quietly weaving into his life. Nourishing your soul is like hydrating your body. You need steady, daily sips, not overwhelming feasts. Mark's old approach, occasional intense efforts, left him drained and discouraged. The 10-minute habit was like a daily walk, manageable, enjoyable, and sustainable. Consistency built momentum and confidence, creating a positive feedback loop. Each small win encouraged him to keep going, replacing guilt with motivation. Unshakable faith isn't built overnight, but brick by brick through small, steady acts. Over time, these daily moments formed a resilient spiritual foundation. The magic is in the dailiness, the quiet rhythm of showing up. Small, steady steps lead to lasting transformation. Maybe Mark's story feels familiar, maybe you too, long for deeper faith but feel overwhelmed by big expectations. The good news, you don't need to be perfect or find extra hours in your day. All it takes is 10 minutes and a willing heart. Some days will be messy, some prayers awkward, and sometimes you'll only manage a few minutes. That's okay. Progress, not perfection, is what matters. Grace meets us in our honest attempts, not our flawless performances. The most important step is simply to begin and then to show up again tomorrow. Consistency unlocks the power of this habit. Think of it as tending a small garden. Daily care brings surprising growth. This routine is for busy people, for doubters, for anyone willing to try. Faith grows in the act of showing up one small step at a time. Here's your invitation. Try the 10-minute habit for 1 week. Set aside a few quiet minutes each morning. Stillness, prayer, scripture, gratitude. See what changes. Real, unshakable faith isn't reserved for a select few. It's grown through small, intentional moments. Like a mustard seed, your daily habit can grow into something strong and life-giving. Embrace the journey, ups, downs, imperfections and all. Begin today, and watch as small seeds of faith take root and flourish in your life.